January 23rd, 2023, almost one full year after launch, Pollen Mobile has officially self-destructed. They have accomplished this by totally and completely abandoning the community and miners that built out the network to the point it is today. The announcement of paid data via USD on the network sent shockwaves through the community and across Twitter. The voice chat they held via Discord last night after the announcement went extraordinarily poorly, having long-term community members and miners storming off in disappointment. Pollen claim they see a brighter path without the connection to crypto or the miner incentives that come along with it. Time will tell, but there is certainly a lot to learn from all of this. What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another video here on the Crypto Compound channel. Thank you guys so much for being here. I hope you're having a great day. Please hit that like and subscribe on the way in. Today, we are talking about Pollen Mobile, or what effectively is no longer going to be Pollen Mobile, as they have just incinerated the entire incentive model for the build out of the Pollen network. They have announced a movement from a PCN incentive model to a USD pricing model for their network. Now, they did this without any sort of vote or community engagement whatsoever. They just announced it yesterday and then held a Discord meeting that went extraordinarily poorly here. As we can see, I was there last night. It was rather entertaining, unfortunately, because a lot of people here did invest a lot of money, and I feel really bad. And this is a horrible example of what could happen in this highly volatile, very high-risk crypto world we live in. But at least it is now very clear where their intentions lie, and it is not with the community members. It is not with people building out a network together. They are clearly optimizing for the equity side of the business. However, after this move, I don't know what equity side of the business they are planning to have. Now, in the Discord chat they held last night, they talked a lot about the promising side of the business with new partners that are interested in transacting in USD and all of these types of things, and how this is really going to help them scale and add value to customers. However, I don't know what sort of usage they are trying to sell to these customers once all of the people who have built out the network leave and go away. I mean, we can even see here, Armand posted yesterday that if you want to trade in your flower, which was the sort of miner on the Pollen network, Helium is actually offering to work with you to help trade in your flower to start mining mobile tokens on the 5G Helium network. I mean, this is just an absolute catastrophe for Pollen Mobile and what they tried to frame as a movement forward or progression forward for Pollen Mobile. I mean, if we look at these comments here, you can see, as far as I understand, it's a dead project. Of course, PCN never had any real value, but now it's effectively 0 or 10 cents, as they say. It's now effectively a stable coin, so I don't know how they expect anyone to feel incentivized by a 10-cent stable coin. It's just a real mess what is going on. And I feel really bad for a lot of these people that have spent a lot of money on Pollen hardware. Hopefully, Helium Mobile can offer some sort of return on that money that was spent on the devices and transfer that over to the mobile network to earn mobile tokens. Now, even Capcom, or Amir Helium, the founder and CEO of the Helium network, showed up in the Beehive chat yesterday in the Pollen Mobile Discord, as you can see him entering up here. Obviously, people very excited to see Amir pop in, people telling him to buy Pollen. Pretty great stuff. And down below, you can see he says, felt some FOMO. This, I believe people have said that are in the community that this was the most listened to Beehive chat, which does not surprise me. People were very angry. Now, there's also a reason why I never really covered Pollen Mobile here on the channel, as I have followed them, but I never really made any videos about them or really didn't talk about them on Twitter. We'll get to that later in the video, but a lot of people don't know this. I'll tell you guys about that a little bit later, but first let's look at what they actually tried to frame as progression. And I don't know if they actually thought people would like this, or if they just really don't care and this is just the plan that they have moving forward, and they're only interested in building the equity side of the business, or the equity side of Pollen Mobile, rather than the actual community and market cap of PCN, and actually drive data usage through the radios that the people were deploying. So as we can see, they say, as the network approaches its first birthday, we're excited to announce the plans of the next phase, paid data, and integrating everything we've learned over the past year into our updated roadmap. They even published a new white paper. I mean, this is, it's horrible again.
terrible.
The original one was horrible, but this might be even worse. And now it doesn't even make sense because there's no incentive flywheel here in the Pollen network after they removed the crypto incentive model via PCN. As you can see, Pollen is announcing our plan for paid data and introducing US dollar payments. In conjunction with officially announced paid data, we're also introducing the US dollar as the primary means to purchase data and or plans for Pollen. And 2, the means in which flower owners will be paid for hauling data. As we can see, customers will be able to pay for a portion of purchases in Pollen Coin PCN, for example, up to 25% of the purchase. That really is almost offensive to people. Shameful! Who have been mining Pollen. Now they're telling you you can cash in up to 25% of a new radio with 25% of PCN that you earned. I mean, it's an absolute slap in the face to people in the community that have trusted the leadership here. And really we're trying to build out a network and add value and usage to the network. And of course, the value of PCN will remain at 10 cents. Now they try to outline some benefits here that they see from this move. I mean, it's just falling on deaf ears. I don't think this is really convincing anybody to work with Pollen Mobile at all in terms of a supply side. So I don't know how they're going to sell that non-existent supply side to a demand side. But this is going to be really interesting. Now a lot of these points reference the benefits of using dollars rather than PCN on the network, which has not really effectively nothing to do with people earning PCN as the crypto incentive model of the network, because they're two completely unrelated things. They could handle the conversion of dollars to PCN on the back end, but they're clearly not opting to do that. This really does just seem like they are trying to get away from crypto, and they've always really had a hesitancy towards the crypto aspect of this network and this ecosystem. And they also are extremely centralized. That's the way they were able to just make this decision without any voting. As we know in the Helium community, as much as people don't necessarily love the votes, we have to acknowledge that those votes are a huge part of what really maintains trust in a community. Because if Pollen Mobile was to put up a vote for this and they needed 2/3 of vote in order to go away from PCN, I can guarantee you they would not have had 2/3 of the PCN holders vote in favor of this, because it is effectively destroying any hopes of a positive return on their investment here in the Pollen network. And of course, Pollen will have access to a much larger market of potential customers, partners, and investors. There's really no validity to that statement whatsoever. And guys, I also do want to highlight, Joey Hiller here did want to reinforce the fact that in contrast to Pollen Mobile, Helium governance prevents unilateral changes like this one. Votes need overwhelming 2/3 approval. Helium will continue to build community-built and owned networks. Helium Mobile will bring proof of coverage and data transfer to the mobile network. Just reinforcing the fact that the Helium network does not operate the same way that Pollen Mobile does, effectively completely rug pulling the entire community with one quick blog post. Now, guys, like I mentioned earlier, part of the reason why I never really talked about Pollen Mobile here on the channel or on Twitter or really anything is basically because of the leadership and the tarnished sort of reputation that the leadership has. I always look at that as sort of the first threshold to see if a project really has some long-standing value and is going to be around long-term. And Anthony Lewandowski was the founder and CEO of Pollen Mobile. And he was sentenced to 18 months in prison as a new $4 billion lawsuit against Uber is filed. This was a few years ago. He was then pardoned by President Trump. So really, really poor background and history for this guy, as we can see here, co-founder and CEO of Pollen Mobile. That's really the main reason why I never wanted to get involved in this project. Of course, there was a chance, and there's some world that this could have worked out, and this guy didn't end up just completely turning his back on everybody that supported Pollen Mobile. But of course, this is exactly what he did. And I did have an inkling that this probably wouldn't end well for Pollen Mobile. So that's really the main reason why I just completely tried to avoid it. And I'm really, really sorry for anyone that has spent money there. Please make sure that you do reach out to trade in at nova.xyz to see what the Nova team can do for you guys in terms of ultimately seeing a return on your investment. I know that hardware isn't cheap, so please reach out to them, see if they could do anything. But this is really just a startling turn of events here for the decentralized wireless community. And I hope that we can learn from this. And I really hope that we can all learn from this. Well, guys, let me know your thoughts and questions down below. If you do reach out to that Nova team, let me know if you guys have had success down below. But guys, be careful out there. It is a crazy, crazy crypto world. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for watching until the end. Please hit that like and subscribe if you have not already, and make sure to leave any questions or comments down below. But just like that, this video is over, and I'll see you next time.